Hi, I'm Dr. Sri Banerjee, epidemiologist, biostatistician, faculty member. And in this video, I'm going to go over a paper, an original research study that I conducted. And I'm going to take this paper and try to break it down into kind of the fundamentals so that you understand the ideas behind this article. There's a lot of complex ideas going on, and it's important to understand the framework of all of this rather than to go in and to understand the details. So this is a paper that was published a number of years ago now. It's been out there for a long time. This is back in 2017. So even as of this recording, it's been about 5 years. So this is one of the first times we characterized this. I published this with my dissertation chair, and we had actually talked about this earlier, and so we decided to characterize this as the triple threat. And the idea was that we would not just take two variable relationships. We would use a framework to demonstrate how three conditions working together have an effect. And this was the first time, at least with these conditions, that this was done. So here I'm going to draw what the general triple threat framework looks like, and then I'm going to go into more detail. So the idea is you have a threat A and a threat B, and then a third threat C. And so there's interaction between two threats, but also the triple threat when another threat interacts with the first. So these are in combination causing more harm in the patient or in the population than if it were to be impacting individually. So for instance, that diabetes individually would not be as harmful to the patient as diabetes, heart disease, and chronic kidney disease. So now, just thinking about epidemiologically, what type of study is this? And so you can go through and look through the description. We wrote an abstract, and here's the data set that's used for the study, and that's the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, and Haynes. And so what type of study is this? Is it a longitudinal study? In the next part, we write that it is a cross-sectional study. So that means that both the effector variable and the outcome variable were measured at the same time. And so this is kind of on a broad level how this works. Now, if I were to draw the triple threat once more within the context of the study, then I would have to draw the actual conditions. And so what we're looking at here is cardiovascular disease as the effector variable, chronic kidney disease as the outcome variable, and then diabetes as what would be moderating the relationship. So this in combination is much more harmful than any one of these disease conditions individually. And so epidemiologically speaking, this is all being done by a cross-sectional study. These are some important parts to think about. And then thinking about the most optimal measure of association. That's another important component of this. And so an odds ratio is the most important measure of association. And so the main type of statistical technique that was used is logistic regression. So you can kind of go through this and follow along some of the important parts of the study. In the method section, all of the variables are defined in much detail, so you can go over them. And then to determine chronic kidney disease, glomerular filtration rate was determined from this equation right here. So you can go over that, and then just see if you can make sense of some of the conclusions that we found at the end of the study, because this is where you can see what you have learned and see if you can apply this to what you understood from the findings of the study. Hope some of these important principles have made sense. Thank you for listening.